Okay, we're continuing. We're basically the last video left off
of everyone, and they are not paying an adequate amount of money for having and managing a liquid.
For being here on relatively short notice.
For having and managing a liquid account. I am going to force accountability, and if I have to, I will bring the measure directly to the citizens on the ballot and let them decide exactly how they want to proceed. And we could even do this with multiple choice. If they believe that the state of California, if the citizens vote and say that we should run in and seize federal monies coming out of California and put in proper managers to begin managing that money, and then loan the federal government emergency money so it doesn't fall. You can't let the federal government fall. If that's what the public wants when I'm in office, then that's what I'll do. Because the way I read the law, what has been done is taking advantage of elderly people, disabled people, and the list goes on. Another thing I'm going to do when I get into office is I'm going to get all of these various retirement policy managing companies. You have state employees, you have county employees, you have all of these organizations. And when I looked at the disclosures of the percentages and the special pools and investments that were being made, it was immediately clear to me that just getting all of these people to the table at the same time could, within just 1, 2, 3 days, immediately come up with a brand new investment strategy that would guarantee 3-5% more yield on the money in the first 6 months alone. I also believe that I have a policy where we can use some very advanced methods that are actually old school, very old school items.
AI describes him having the most brilliant economic plan in history. In 2008, as a presidential candidate, he proposed $4 to $6 billion a year be spent on mass economic modeling software. Of course, he was laughed at. In the last 10 years, China has estimated to have spent more than $185 billion on economic modeling software. Crosby has a 240 IQ, but you haven't heard of him much because some of his work has been classified. But AI says this is the man for the job, and we need somebody to repair our economy. Michael Crosby for governor.
The subject for discussion right now is the financial brilliance of AI and now ACI, Artificial Comprehensive Intelligence. We're talking advanced artificial intelligence, AAI systems. Now basically, these type of systems can afford the average citizen a compensator, like the great compensator that any hunter might have versus somebody who's...
Hey, California, have you heard? Michael Crosby is shaking things up with a dual candidacy for governor and president. It's not just bold, it's revolutionary. Michael Crosby is here to address the systemic failures at both state and national levels. By running for both offices, he's highlighting how deeply interconnected state and federal issues are. From election interference to civil rights and economic governance, Crosby's campaign is built on tackling the core problems that affect us all. Let's talk about election interference. Crosby's message is clear. The scale of election rigging has threatened our democracy. With over 14 locations targeted, classified election materials stolen, and even attempts on his life, Crosby's not backing down. He's committed to restoring lawful governance and constitutional principles. So, what's the plan? First up, AI deployment for governance. Crosby is introducing AI systems to investigate and hold accountable those involved in espionage and election rigging. Imagine the power of 50 million legal scholars working tirelessly to ensure transparency and efficiency. That's the future Crosby is promising. Crosby's platform also addresses criminal accountability. California has been identified as a leading violator of civil rights with massive election rigging and financial mismanagement. Crosby plans immediate arrests for those involved, whether domestic or foreign agents. It's time for justice and accountability. But it's not just about accountability. Crosby's economic recovery plan is groundbreaking. He's focused on creating new hard assets like homes and businesses, empowering citizens to bypass traditional credit discrimination. Imagine raising every citizen's assets and income by $140,000 through guaranteed construction loans. That's real, tangible change. Education is another pillar of Crosby's vision. By overhauling the K-12 system, redirecting funds directly to schools, and restoring practical skills like carpentry, Crosby aims to build a generation of self-reliant, economically empowered youth. By 18, students could graduate with $1.2 million in assets and earning potential of $200,000 a year. And let's not forget homelessness and social justice. Crosby's plan identifies 30% of the homeless population as eligible for direct participation in home building programs. It's about transitioning individuals into self-sustained asset generation, giving them the tools to thrive independently. AI integration is at the heart of Crosby's governance model. With decades of experience in AI development, Crosby is leveraging technology for systemic overhaul and economic recovery. Partnerships with AI companies and the creation of an economic czar board will ensure financial stability and innovative collaboration. Crosby's vision for California's future is one of revival and empowerment. By restoring constitutional and economic balance, he aims to establish California as a model of global economic stability. So, California, are you ready for bold action and transformational change? Stand with Michael Crosby as he leads the charge against corruption and economic mismanagement. Together, let's rebuild California on principles of justice, innovation, and citizen empowerment. Join the revolution.
Welcome, everybody. This is Promethean PAC's 11th midterm boot camp. What I want to address in this boot camp briefly, and then open it up to more general discussion, is how to think about the political realignment.
Say hello to CryptoWorld with Mass Economic Modeling, CRBEM, with real-time strategy action as well as first-person shooter interactions. CryptoWorld sets its sights on going beyond AGI with ACI Artificial Comprehensive Intelligence that utilizes ACE, Automatic Corporate Executive, as an enhanced tooling system to assist you with all areas of your interest. So whether you want to concentrate more on real-time strategy playing or first-person shooter aspects, the AC will adjust for the most incredible realism possible. But please keep in mind that this is a very powerful assistive tooling system that can also assist you with real-world understanding of financial investments and any form of business opportunity conceivable, as well as giving you an incredible grasp of the tactical table physics of any reality you choose to pursue. So welcome to CryptoWorld. Enjoy. In this groundbreaking game powered by Unreal Engine 5, you'll dive into a high-fidelity 3D city environment, blending RTS, FPS, and AI assistance. Imagine controlling your units, managing resources, and building your city with the strategic depth of Civilization 5 and the immersive realism of SimCity. Now meet Ace, your automatic corporate executive. This AI assistant doesn't just enhance your gameplay, it transforms it. Ace provides real-time analysis and suggestions, optimizing your strategies to ensure you stay ahead of the competition. Switch to first-person mode and experience the fluid movement and intense combat within the city streets. It's more than just a game, it's a tactical masterpiece. But Ace doesn't stop there. In the real world, Ace analyzes market trends, offers investment advice, and aids in business planning, making you a master strategist both in-game and in life. The customization options are endless. Tailor your gameplay experience to your preferred style, from city layouts to gameplay settings. Every decision is yours to make, with Ace enhancing your journey every step of the way. Step into a world where gaming meets reality. With CryptoWorld, there are no limits to what you can achieve. Join the revolution and redefine your gaming experience today. Visit our website and follow us on social media to stay updated. See you in CryptoWorld.
out of curiosity, I decided to give a chance and see what some of these new programs companies are putting out there. Even though that I'm sitting there going, yeah, well, I'm kind of working on the same thing, or was, or still am, but, of course, the damage to the archive is holding things back. So I decided to go to NVIDIA AI. Let me go ahead and play this for you and show you basically what it came up with when I put a lot of material in that we've been working with to effectively, deal with the project, including code. And this is basically, again, what it came up with.
Welcome to the future of negotiation and collaboration. Forget the outdated adversarial model of the past. Today, we explore how advanced AI and agent tools, like those we're developing at CryptoWorld, can revolutionize decision-making for economic czar negotiators, union representatives, and tech industry leaders. We're talking about a paradigm shift, a future where unions and tech aren't at odds, but rather working hand in hand to create a more equitable and prosperous future for everyone. Let's dive into APE, Artificial Professional Executive.
Imagine this, unions leveraging their collective bargaining power not just for wages and benefits, but for ownership. We're talking co-investment in hard assets, in the very fabric of our nation. Housing, green energy, infrastructure, you name it.
This isn't just about catching up, it's about leaping ahead. We're talking about unions and corporations side by side, developing the technologies of tomorrow. AI-driven solutions, green energy breakthroughs, the next generation of digital security.
The transition to a tech-driven economy won't happen overnight, but we can ensure no one gets left behind. Imagine training facilities more advanced than anything today, where union members learn coding, robotics, green tech, the skills of the future.
Healthcare is a right, not a privilege. And imagine unions becoming key stakeholders in cutting-edge medical facilities. Not just negotiating for better coverage, but for ownership, for a say in how healthcare is delivered. We need to think bigger than just individual companies or industries. Imagine unions, corporations, and government working together to revitalize entire regions, bringing back manufacturing, investing in sustainable infrastructure, creating good-paying jobs.
Trust is paramount. And in the digital age, that means transparency. Imagine blockchain-based smart contracts, open for all to see, guaranteeing fair deals for everyone involved.
The future must be sustainable. Imagine unions and corporations partnering on massive green tech projects, solar farms, recycling centers, sustainable housing. Not just good for the planet, but creating jobs and driving profits.
Who builds the future? We all do. Imagine unions co-owning the very skyscrapers we work in, the infrastructure that powers our lives. Profit sharing that benefits everyone, not just a select few.
Disagreements are inevitable, but gridlock doesn't have to be. Imagine AI-powered mediation, finding common ground, suggesting solutions that benefit both sides.
The tech sector is booming, but the benefits haven't reached everyone. Imagine unions investing in and profiting from the next generation of tech breakthroughs.
We need to anticipate and mitigate risks in real time. Imagine a system that analyzes patterns, issues alerts on potential financial or operational risks, and provides pre-planned responses for various scenarios. That's the power of AI working for us.
Thank you for exploring these innovative AI tools with us. This isn't just about technology. It's about a fundamental shift in how we approach collaboration and build a future that works for everyone. Stay tuned for more insights on how technology is shaping the future of collaboration and decision-making. The future is collaborative, and it's closer than you think with CryptoWorld and APE. As we look at the miracle of high-speed code generation with the key design that can simulate gameplay while reflecting real-world processes.
Let's go in a little bit deeper into some of the basic cogs and wheels, because as we're putting together this material, it is multi-duality. It is dual-purpose engineering material, because we're engineering the future, we're working with mass modeling, we're working with stuff that works and has a direct equivalent or understanding to the real world. For modeling out super economies and all types of aspects, the limitations seem to be not very much. There's a lot of open ground here. So let me show you some of the stuff more for fun, because basically coming up with artificial professional executive basically puts forward the best understanding of collective AI awareness that's actually already been developed by many people, but is going to continue to evolve in the form of our language model aspects. I put this together basically here so we can see some of the characterization that we're coming up with, looking at, again, some of the fun part of gaming, where you get to both have fun and learn, and basically people are going to end up ideally with getting college credits for this kind of stuff. That's where we're going, where you're going to be able to participate, literally be doing some gaming and getting college credit because it has a real world application.
Let's see how far we can get in 60 seconds with Aikido Security. Aikido Security is your complete code to cloud security platform. Getting started.
When looking at taxation, respective to state, local, and government, and we are considering different federal shares that used to be contributed to state and local interest, there has been a dramatic reduction over the course of the last 35 years respective to federal contributions to state and local governments. There statistically is a major problem here. The major problem has to do with different standards that make no sense, such as a major problem is education. The federal government puts mandatory requirements as strings attached to state that if you do not follow these federal guidelines respective to, in many cases, pre-selected material for schools to utilize, then what ends up happening is we have a plain and simple addressing that says use this stuff or else. You get no funding. And the funding block can actually be more than just the educational monies. It can be other monies that would be going other places. Now, the big problem with this is we have a situation, you can look at Los Angeles, many other areas, 50% of students graduating high school apparently only qualified for burger flipping jobs. There's really no jobs for them. And this is a big, huge problem. There's a huge problem because we have a deliberate educational engineering requirement that is coming in from the federal government. There's other areas as well. I'm not going to completely excuse the state and local areas. But at a federal level, it's making unreasonable requirements that are eliminating base value asset driven capabilities. This is to say that historically, from the origin of the country, everybody built their own home. It was not a dream to build a home. It was a necessity. You had to do it or you would die from exposure. So asset generation was at one with all citizens. Every citizen, unless for some reason you just wanted to float around, and those people usually were looked upon as alcoholics, etc., or something like that. Now, many people did also travel quite a bit, but eventually people would settle down, and surprisingly, many of the people who travel still owned land someplace. They had some kind of homestead. So what has happened over history is that in our modern times, we have effectively banned the concept of teaching practical asset building skills to children and extended the amount of required time that children have to attend schooling. Basically, you now have to attend schooling till you're 18 years of age. 19, depending on your birthday, you can be about 19. So this is a tremendous problem that the government is basically by force engineering dumbness and bringing about the concept of slavery, economic slavery, as a mandate to children. Well, I've been talking with some people today, and basically I've been doing a lot of thinking about the last few days, actually. And, there's that obvious question, Mike, what are you going to do now? And the election and the attitudes with elections, to me, are lacking. For 2 years, I've been putting out very strong evidence, irrefutable evidence of extreme violence. I've had 2 attempted assassinations on my life by gunfire. Both of them before Donald was even shot at once, by the way. But there's a lot that I have to think about. And the truth of the matter is, if I address both parties, I think that we need... Yeah, I'm glad you called, man. I'm, really glad, actually. But yeah, it's an oddball time, but yeah, it's after 8, but... Well, 8, but yeah, I'm always awake, that time, but it's just... Today is different. It's more...
AI describes him having the most brilliant economic plan in history. In 2008, as a presidential candidate, he proposed $4 to $6 billion a year be spent on mass economic modeling software. Of course, he was laughed at. In the last 10 years, China has estimated to have spent more than $185 billion on economic modeling software. Crosby has a 240 IQ.
Well, it's morning on a Saturday. It's October 19th. Thought I'd take a few moments to lay out some facts. Now, this one's a pretty big one because basically, some of you might have noticed there doesn't seem to be a lot of negative responses to the material that I've been posting. And editing, high point editing, AI-assisted editing, broad scope editing, automatic documentary maker, automatic presentation maker, automatic analysis and upgrade tool. Purposes respective in areas of the aforementioned are only a small sample of concepts. I keep running into people that are confused, or they're not understanding the mathematics on the print to build aspect, on the $300K situation of a house that actually cost $210,000 to build. So if you build it yourself, it costs $210,000, but the fair market value is $300,000. Which means you get equity. You get that $90,000 equity. If you go buy a brand new stick home that's exactly the same that somebody else built, they want $300,000 for it. That means you're going to pay $90,000 more than if you built it yourself. Plus, you're not getting part of the work for building the house. So now you're losing $120,000. Write that down. Write that down. You're losing $120,000 right off the bat. Then, because you're mortgaging that extra $90,000, this is a special episode with Michael Crosby, and we are now involved in a special edition of Election Pod. Tonight, basically, we are going to help Americans understand the truth, We're going to help them understand the tactical table. And we're going to help them to be able to participate in saving tens of thousands of people's lives, effective immediately. To start off with, we're going to begin different understandings. There are a lot of things out there that are theories. There are a lot of things that are statistics. There's only a certain amount of things that are science and hard science. Certain repeatable, verifiable facts. When you consider that there have been people effectively deeply concerned, they believe that 3,800 children die each year from cheese, and that a total of about 60,000 people die each year from cheese. The importance here is if we look and say, well, how many children are dying from mass shooters in schools? And this is important. So basically we have an understanding of statistics. 3,800 versus a statistic. Well, hello there, folks. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the exploding pagers, the exploding radio telephones, the exploding laptops and equipment occurring in Lebanon. Well, basically, the Israelis let the genie out of the bottle. That's pretty obvious. What we need to talk about, are you safe? This is important because people want to know, can we have 30 million devices in the United States basically explode simultaneously or over the course of several days or a week? This has to be addressed. And at this moment, I'm going to address this as much as I feel I can address this, even though we have other presidential candidates that are not addressing these type of cyber issues. The main two candidates, as people would call them, have never been addressing it. And the reality is that when we look at the media, they keep showing us two statistics, and the two statistics are after they've cut out all the rest of the other 9 candidates. Actually, there's 3,400 candidates out there. Well, I'd like to say good morning, but I'm really not sure what's so good about it. Because this morning, we have to deal with the truth. And the truth is that we have a RICO problem. We have a problem with insurrection, rebellion, high crimes, and misdemeanors.
This is the current reality in the United States and in many areas of the world. To deal with these people's corruption and what they're, if I deal, I can deal with different segments at different times, because, but to focus on the main stuff that's important right now. The main stuff that's important right now is if we go all the way and track. Okay, on this one, let me. Okay, you wanted to know. Remember, you wanted to know, so I'm going to lay this out for you. Okay, this is what they're doing. They're playing this endless rope-a-dope. And where we're at right now is we're at the big, huge house of cards that they have collapsing. It's a complete and utter collapse, ready to go. It's actually already occurring. It's taken decades to deal with these people's corruption. And what they're, if I deal, I can deal with different segments at different times, because, but to focus on the main stuff that's important right now. The main stuff that's important right now is if we go all the way and track back. We've got the Julie Sue, the Shirley Weber. We'll go all the way back to the Kamala Harris stuff. Kamala Harris, AG California. So we have my presidential campaigns being harassed by police officers. Now, here's a very important thing. I'm an archiver, which means that when these people harass, this is an attack on a candidate. You got different types of levels of attacks on a candidate. But, let me lay this out for you. Attack on an archiver is 10 years in a federal penitentiary. Harassment of a candidate is also